Hi, a simple rural scene, host house, a few farm buildings, nothing too challenging. So we'll do this wetting wet. This is a piece of £200 cold pressed Saunders, 15 inches by 11, donated by my mate David Dickinson. Okay, so I'll just give it a bit of a wet. I'll paint around the houses, or I'll wet around the buildings anyway. You don't need to paint every single speck of the paper. You can leave some little bits unpainted, unwetted for some dry sparkle. So across there, with that, and then down here. I'll probably use a mop for some of this. Let's cut some of that water. Okay, that seems to be okay. Right, use my newish, or new to me, mop. So we'll put in a bit of sienna. These paints are a little bit dry now. And a bit of red. Just give a bit of a afternoon tint to that paper. And we'll put in a bit of cloud, bit of blue, bit of light red. Okay, let's just put in the clouds. All very straightforward. They're coming across the horizon there. Okay, put a bit of harder clouds in. Okay, so we've got plenty of movement in the sky. I'll clean the brush, just pick up any loose bits of water. Don't want them going into the buildings yet. And I'll just put that down there. I'll let that dry off a little bit, and I'll put in. I'll re-wet some. I'll wet some of this here now. The sort of the water pond, whatever. Get off. I'll put those colours in the water. We'll worry about reflections later on. We'll put in the clouds. Nice bit of dry brush. Can really take liberties with this quality paper. Okay, that'll do for that. And we'll start to put in some fields here. So a bit of burnt sienna. Bit of raw sienna as well. Let's just put those in. We can mix a little bit of yellow in with that as well. Like sort of a light greeny colour. been having a long chat with Alan Owen. Brightens up my day. Right, bit of Payne's grey now in that with that sienna. So we don't want flat colours really. We want some variety in some of this. Oh, we'll put in a bit of colour. And we'll add to that bank as and when. Okay. Right, nice bank colour, burnt sienna, Payne's grey. And we can just drag a little bit of that down as reflection. Leave a little bit of a margin to separate the bank from the actual water. We've missed it there a little bit, no, never mind. Okay, so that'll bring me a bit of reflection in that. Okay. Put a bit of heavier bushy stuff in there, I think, because we've put a reflection underneath it, so we want that to actually show in there. Right, okay, we'll let that go, I think. I'll put a bit of nice warm foreground in here. When you do bits of foreground, don't beat yourself up over it, just do it quick. Nice washy colour, and over that I can put some bushes when it dries. Using burnt sienna and Payne's grey gives you sort of a burnt umber, and I will go into that when I'm ready. Right, let's just, I want to do these trees now. They've got a nice soft sky. It's fairly dry. I'm just going to give it a bit of a dry, so take your headphones off, go. Right, I'm going to use this mop now to paint some background trees. So I'm going to use light red and ultra. Let's just gently put the shapes in dry brush. Okay, all very simple. And we'll put some in the back here. It's all winter trees, my favourite. Okay. Detailing that later. Same here. What a lovely brush this is. This is a Renaissance Pro Art number 6, goat hair mop. Be careful here. I can leave a little bit of a margin around those buildings, the roofs. Right, okay, so there we are, we've got some nice trees, we can detail into that. Just to go around a little bit of a negative space here. Just cut in there. That would do. Right. I reckon I could afford to do a little bit of dry brush over that with those tree colours, sky colours. See what happens. Just light red and ultramarine. And there's some scudding across here. I can soften those. Okay, all adds to the fun. Just cover that little blemish there. Right, I'm not quite sure if that's actually worked there, but soften that a little bit. You could take liberties with this quality paper that you couldn't do on the Fabriano that I normally use. Just soften those. Okay. Well, now we're going to have a go at these roofs. So they want to be sort of a burnt umbery, Payne's grey, burnt sienna. A bit of water, so there's a little bit of red on there. A bit of green in there, I think. Fletcher Watson was a great one for putting the green in. Okay, some darker mix there. Could have left a bit of a margin there, but I forgot. Right, we'll have one bit of decent red on this Oast House that dry. I don't want that interfering with the host house, which I'm going to paint quite dark. So a bit of Payne's grey. Quite a large brush for a small bit of painting. Now, a bit of sienna. We'll just merge that in there. I have to clean that. I should have used a flat for that, but right, let's put some bit of shadow under there. Quite a fine point. It's very impressed with this brush. It's £12.40. And it's a really nice one to get used to. Let's put this corrugated roof in there. I'm going to put a bit of sienna to show a little bit of rust. Okay. Now these need to be quite light, so I'm going to use the Payne's grey, just a touch of sienna on there. A bit of dark around the back there. Oh, it won't sort of register. Sort of clapboard. Same here. Right, I'm going to put some foliage across there. Right, I'll carry that on around here. And we'll just take that across. I've just used a bit of Payne's grey there, and I've merged it into the darker mix, so I get a sort of a transition. Leaning over. I'll put a bit of blue. Usually these are white, but it doesn't show up there, so. Oh, that's terrible, isn't it? Right, let's mop that. I'll do something else with that. I might use a bit of gouache on there. Right. Bit of sienna, I think, for around here. Okay, now that is still holding quite a bit of water. I'm going to dry this, so headphones off. Right, I'll let that dry out of its own accord. I'm going to put some scrubby shrubby stuff there. Right, trees, trunks. Right, just the same mix but darker sort of version. Probably be better with a rigger. I'll use the rigger. You can't always see, it's such a big brush, you can't always see what you're doing with it. Let's just, now you can take ages on these sort of things. Do I want them looking like oaks or do I want them looking like ash? With thinnish trunks going up to many sort of offshoots at the top. Yeah, quite like that. Same here. And I'll put some darker blue, red, sort of a mauvey colour to show some ivy, but in the distance it'll take on a blue tone. If you want to see great examples of these sort of trees, go and look at Roland Hilda. Roland, R-O-W-L-A-N-D, Hilda, H-I-L-D-E-N. And his great follower, Isabel Castle, an old friend who died some years ago, sadly. Great artist, great watercolourist. Right, let's put in some heavier sort of scrubby. Look at that, nice and too much of a margin there, so we just fill that in. There's a lot of water on your rigger on this quality paper. It's quite rough, as you can hear. Right. I use a thin brush for want of a better tool. So a nice heavy green, yellow, lemon yellow, plenty of Payne's grey, good, rich, deep yellow, green. Just all dirtying it up. So a bit of work in the foreground. Just filling in the holes really. Texture. Payne's grey and lemon yellow, pretty good mixer. Okay. We'll put a bit of a red shadow in this. Okay. There's a bit of a wash around here, so we'll put that with a bit of that grey. Okay, a couple of windows. There aren't many host houses left now that aren't houses. Lovely conversions. Okay, so let's we want a bit of texture now. I'll use the hake now for in here and here. Okay, I don't think there's much I can do with that now, other than a bit of dry brush maybe. We'll use the mop for that. The hake is an absolutely brilliant brush for the Fabriano, the thinner paper, but I'm not convinced that it's great for the better quality papers. But then I've not really tried it on a quality paper, I've just tried it on the Fabriano. I used to, when I first started with the hake, back in the old Ron Manson days, I was using Bockingford, the spiral bound 20 by 16, I think. And that was very good. But that was £140, whereas the Fabriano's £130. Someone was asking me on Facebook, she lives in Australia, but her daughter's going out for Christmas, where could she get some Fabriano? Well, it comes in 100 sheet blocks, the stuff we buy, quite inexpensive. So let's just put a few sort of dry brush. No, just okay. do. No great reflect. I don't need more reflections in it than that. Oh, maybe I should. But it's flowing fairly fast. This sort of will assume. So we just put in some bit of shadow in here. That'll do. We've got a bit of a dry, and we'll put a few flicks up, and that's it. That's a nice green. I'll show that as a reflection. A lemon yellow, Payne's grey. I'll put some, the one I did yesterday, quite a warm, wintry scene in the mountains in the distance. I did my birds, and with so much water on the rigger, they look like something under magnification in water. Right. So apologies for that. Right, well that'll do. That's a sort of a rural Kent scene. I'll sign it. I'll use my pen. If it still works. Okay. Put it in a mount. We'll have a look. Right, oh, I know what I was going to do, but I don't know if it will show. My gouache. See while I spend the next half an hour looking for the oh no, found it. The gouache is now getting a bit beyond it. It's getting so stiff now. We're going to have to buy some more. Take a little bit out of the top. I'll show. Doesn't really show because it's not dark enough behind, but that'll be alright. This is where the fiddling kills. Bit of Payne's grey, bit of sorry about my head. Right, let that go. It's a demonstration, not a masterpiece. Okay, so let's bring you round. I'm going to be doing some acrylics very soon. I've sort of coming to the end of my watercolour stint this time round. I'm enjoying them, but I want something a bit meatier. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye bye.